Hi, I am part of TSA and I'm here to do an interview for you. How were you introduced to your field?
When I started my PhD program in Georgia Tech, the very beginning I was in the geotechnical program, but my advisor is in the transportation area. And my research started focus on the pavement and materials. And I found this is actually also a very interesting area and also a very important area as well.
Where did you study?
I got my PhD from Georgia Tech, and that's a very well-known, institution for the engineering field.
How long have you been in structural engineering?
It's infrastructure engineering, and it's been like 25 years and more.
What do you enjoy about your field?
Well, I think this is a very important area. So first, this area has a very broad scope in materials, like pavement, bridges, and then tunnels, and the transportation infrastructure is very important to the human society. And there are a lot of interesting scientific problems as well. You can apply fundamental principles and technologies from other areas to solve our problems. And the problems that we're facing is just the degradation of this materials and infrastructure, and it will cost a lot of money to the society.
What is your current project?
I have a number of projects funded by the Department of Transportation and the National Science Foundation, and some of them including the multi-scale modeling, including the nanomechanics, molecular dynamics modeling of concrete materials, asphalt concrete materials, and other infrastructure materials. And other projects like using the renewable energy, harvesting energy from the pavements and from the vehicle-induced deformation of pavements, and also basically sensing technology applications for monitoring the health of pavements and bridges.
What was your favorite project?
I guess the three projects I just mentioned, are actually the favorite ones. One is the multi-scale modeling, that apply the fundamental principles of science to understand the behavior of materials and the structures, pavement structures and other infrastructure as well. And another one is as I mentioned, the monitoring, the health monitoring of the infrastructure. And our actually infrastructure of the country, of the nation, aggregated to like a B, C, or even D, right? We have to repair them, and we have to repair them timely, and this needs the monitoring of the infrastructure.
Why is your field important to our world?
Transportation. My field is actually transportation infrastructure, building roads, bridges, tunnels, right? Airports. These are very important infrastructure to the human society. We need a transportation. We transport freight, people, right? From moving from place to place. Although we understand that internet is important, we can order through the telephone or through the email, but we cannot. We order maybe, for example, a chicken or from a store, but we cannot deliver that one through the internet. We still need the transportation infrastructure, need the vehicles to take what you order, to transport what you order from the store to your location, to your home. So this is important, satisfy the important needs of human beings. Right? And it's very important to the economy of the nation and also the security, safety of the nation as well. And it is also important to the environmental because the transportation area has a lot of emissions, and its emissions of course pollutions to the environmental. So we need to develop innovative technologies to minimize the emissions, to minimize the fuel costs as well, and minimize the use of fossil fuels as well. So this is a very important area. And also the building and maintaining of the infrastructure like roads and bridges cost a lot. and we have to build sustainable or non-life, pavements and bridges so that we can reduce our investment in this area. So it's important, right?
Where is your field headed?
I believe in the future, this hill field would have several areas like innovative materials, non-lasting materials, and multifunctional materials. First, we build this material with infrastructure with different type of materials, and these materials will last long and reduce the pollution. And in the future, we also have this connected system, like bridges, pavements, and everything would be connected using the information and sensing technology, and so that we will be able to know the conditions or the status of any of this infrastructure, like a bridge, whether it's going to fail or not, and whether it needs repayments or not, and this is become connected. The world become connected, our infrastructure become connected as well.
What advice would you give to others trying to get into structural engineering?
Well, I think yes, this is a multidisciplinary area. So I guess if you want to get into this area, you have to build a good background in computer engineering and materials and construction technologies and sensing technologies and basically other areas as well. So you can apply the tools that were developed in other areas to solve the problems that we are facing.
Okay, thank you for
Okay.
your time.